Welcome to the 301 Colored Commentators, a monthly podcast series where two black men from the state of Maryland debate and give their hot takes on movies, professional wrestling, and TV shows. So have a listen, have a look-see, but nonetheless, enjoy.
Hey, what's up, folks?
What's up, people?
5th episode of Season 3, 301 Colored Commentators. We know we're a few weeks, i.e. a month and a half late, but you can blame me for that. I was sick.
Yeah, my man was under the weather.
Under the weather, yeah. But
we're
what's
back
it called?
and he is in full form,
I'm
man.
in full form, ready to go. Yes, that's right.
Good.
So for episode number 5, we are going to talk about the 2006 Martin Scorsese Oscar-winning film, The Departed. We're going to talk about feuds in pro wrestling, both in and outside the ring. And lastly, we'll be talking about the Hulu series, Paradise.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. He got me into Paradise, actually.
It's a good show.
It's good.
I literally, as someone had told me about it, I was like, let me give this a shot. And then I started watching. I was like, this actually might be a good one. I think you'd like it. So I just put you on.
He puts me on to some good things. Yes, he does.
Good show. A good season 1 anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and they're doing a season 2. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that whenever that drops.
Yeah. Yep.
So what's new with you, man?
Got a new government. Things changing around in this country, so I'm just kind of keeping up with the times and how wild things are getting. But we're good, man. That's about it. What about you?
Yeah, same thing basically. I will say this: for my day job, we got to go in physically in the office now, and that's an adjustment period after 5 years of working at home.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
It is. I mean, working in the office ain't nothing I haven't done before, but like I said, it's a readjustment.
Yeah.
It's like to having to be mindful of unfathomable and unseeable office politics again.
Yeah, when you don't have a choice but to be in the midst of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can range from anything, like when you're cooking your food in the microwave,
yeah,
what you're cooking
in the pantry area.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But like I said, it's all about adaptability, and
absolutely.
What species is more adaptable than the human being?
It's a great question.
Apart from a chameleon.
I was about to say, I'm sure there's some, but we're quite unique in our own right. So
yeah, we are.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Shows I've been watching lately. Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said before, what's it called? It's a continuation of the Netflix joint and just as violent and rated R.
Good. I'll look into it. I did watch the Netflix joint. I need to finish that actually, because I might need it so I can kind of correlate the two. But I did watch the Netflix one a little bit. I just haven't finished it. And
the best part about this series so far, we got confirmation that the Punisher is going to be back.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Bernthal's going to be back.
Okay.
He said he wasn't going to do the Punisher if it's not rated R.
Did he make I'm guessing he's made some cameos.
He's made a cameo,
already,
yes. Like,
okay. Nice.
But the thing with those MCU shows is, for some reason, they still can't do them on these characters on the big screen just yet.
How come? They have to develop their stories a bit?
Not even that. It's about like rights between the streaming TV shows versus the big screen. It's weird. I don't understand it myself.
Interesting.
I mean, I understood that when they were on Netflix, but on Disney Plus, which owns Marvel,
it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, there's no conflict of interest no more.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man, that's one thing, because Sony still kind of owns that one.
Okay. Spider-Man, is X-Men fall into that too, or just Spider-Man?
Just Spider-Man.
Okay.
What's it called? Because X-Men was under Fox, but they got the rights back from Fox for everything.
Okay.
For X-Men and Fantastic Four, which is coming out this year.
So I'm guessing maybe not in the near future, but in the future they'll be making an X-Men movie.
They will. They've already showed in what's it called, the Marvels movie where they had Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. The post-credit scene showed what's it called, Monica Rambeau going into a branching timeline where she meets Hank McCoy, the Beast, fully in his bestial blue form.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they're doing X-Men. That's proof.
Yeah. They've all been disappointing so far, kind of, sort of, the X-Men movies.
They have been, yeah. I mean, I like the first two, and I like X-Men First Class, but everything after that, it's everything in between, and after that, it's like
just kind of
just give it back to Marvel. Give it back to Marvel. They'll do it right.
I heard the '97 cartoons are back.
They're doing a season 2.
Yeah, has that dropped yet or no?
hasn't dropped yet. It drops 2026, I think.
Oh, okay. I saw season 1. That was good.
Season 1 was good. Yeah, the only issue I had with season 1 was just the dialogue, really. It felt more comic bookish and didn't flow as naturally or well acted as it was in the 90s cartoon.
Fox one, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
But other than that,
Fair
though,
enough.
it got better as time went on.
Yeah. I was a little skeptical and a little worried when they first said they were redoing it. And I was like, or should I say, continuing, kind of, sort of, because the Fox one was so good. I thought they'd ruin it, but it was actually decent.
Yeah, and the Fox one still holds up in my mind as the best X-Men adaptation between animation, movies, and the live-action TV shows like The Gifted.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, hopefully Marvel, they become the machine that they once were during phase 1 through 3.
I thought the one, was it on Disney?
Which one?
Or Nickelodeon? There was like a X-Men, is it? Wolverine was like the main character.
Wolverine and the X-Men?
Yeah.
I think it was on Disney before there was a Disney Plus.
I liked how this part about it. I liked how they had a story that didn't necessarily go from episode 1, 2, 3. They'll do an episode and they'll do another segment in between, and then they'll continue episode 1 like episode 5 and kind of piece everything together.
That's what they used to do in the animation in the 90s one as well, too.
Yeah. So
like a build-up.
Yeah, the build-up. So I thought that was good writing on their part, but there was just something missing about that one. I couldn't quite get my finger on it because I didn't watch it. It's been a while. I only watched it once. So.
I just did not like the animation.
The animation was probably it.
Animation between that and X-Men Evolution. Yeah. It's like this is just
probably the animation. You're right.
It's just like a child made for kids, basically.
Yeah. That's probably what it was.
It was
because I was like, something's off. The writing is it's done pretty well. It's just something is just off, and you might be right. It might be just the animation. Yeah.
My nephew, he used to be a fan of that when he was 10 years old, and when I came over to his house back then when he was 10 and wearing an X-Men shirt, he proceeded to ask me all kinds of questions about X-Men, asking, and Wolverine and the X-Men, they do this. I'm like, ignore that. I'll explain it to you in the comics version. But when he was 10 and asking me all those questions, he's like how I was at that age when I first got into comics. Yeah. Only I didn't have anybody around to answer my questions. And there was no internet either.
At the time.
So
that's true.
I was obsessive with it, I admit.
Yeah, that's true. When you think about it, the internet wasn't easily accessible to everyone. You had to be really rich at probably the time that you.
Yeah, when I was 10, this was 93. Yeah, we didn't get internet until 96 in my house. AOL.
Me too. My boy had it in 93, 94. But even that, it was limited.
It was. So there was the World Wide Web wasn't what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't so search friendly like it is now. So.
Oh, you know what's way more search friendly now? I'm realizing Chat GPT.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's more than just creating AI.
It can generate so many things for you, like answers and everything. It's almost like a psychotherapist too. Yeah, that technology. I hope it doesn't evolve into something like Skynet. Shout out to our last episode.
Oh yeah, T2.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
Shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Okay. Starting with our first topic, The Departed. Mm-hmm. Directed by Martin Scorsese, who also did Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Casino, Cape Fear, etc., and released on October 6th of 2006. The film stars Jack Nicholson.
Grab it. Yeah, let me grab water. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, no problem. Use mine. Use this.
Oh, thank you.
I'll get another one later.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Yeah. Released October 6th of 2006. The film stars Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Mark Wahlberg, and co-starring Martin Sheen, Alec Baldwin, Vera Farmiga, Anthony Anderson, and James Badge Dale.
Heavy roster.
Very heavy roster. I mean, it's a Scorsese flick.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be in a Scorsese flick.
Yeah.
It takes place in Boston. Well, primarily...
Hey, New England.
Yes. I'm more Connecticut than Massachusetts.
Right.
Yeah, the face.
New England.
Mm-hmm. It took place in Boston and the surrounding metro area, mostly in the South Boston, aka Southie neighborhood. Irish mob boss Frank Costello, played by Nicholson, he plants Colin Sullivan, played by Matt Damon, as his mole in the Massachusetts State Police Department. Mm-hmm. At the same time, the Massachusetts State Police Department plant their own mole, Trooper Billy Costigan, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, to infiltrate Nicholson's gang. Mm-hmm. When both sides realize what's going on, Sullivan and Costigan, they try to find each other's identity before they're found out and killed.
Yeah.
The film was a critical and commercial success. It grossed $291.5 million worldwide against a $90 million budget and received widespread acclaim, including winning 4 Oscars, one for Best Picture, one for Best Director for Scorsese, About Time, and another for Best Editing and for the Best Adapted Screenplay. The only Oscar it didn't win was for Best Supporting Actor for Mark Wahlberg. It also had nominations in the Golden Globe Awards, in which it won 1, and nominations in the 60th Annual British Academy Film Awards, and 2 nominations with the 13th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards. The film was actually a remake, an English language remake of a 2002 Hong Kong film called Internal Affairs. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
interesting.
And it's also loosely based on the real life Boston Winter Hill gang, with Colin Sullivan, his character being based on the corrupt FBI agent John Conley, with Frank Costello also being based on Irish American gangster and crime boss Whitey Bulger. But you can learn more about that through this film right here, Black Mass, in which Johnny Depp played Whitey Bulger.
Yeah. That came later?
That came like...
Was it before this? It was later, right?
Yeah, it was later.
Yeah,
this was 2006. That Black Mass was 2015.
Yeah, I remember when that came out.
Yeah, I saw this film on a whim with another group of friends. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't see no promotion, no preview. So I'm sitting there like, what the hell are we watching here?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing all the stars in there and the New England setting. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. I mean, these are like a lot of the people that I went to school with when I was at UConn. Like a lot, the accents, the terminologies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good film. When I realized what was going on, what the plot was, it's like, okay, let's see who gets who. And seeing the performances, DiCaprio's character breaking down from all the stress of being an undercover mole with a psychopathic criminal like Nicholson. And he said Nicholson was basically given carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wants.
Oh, okay.
That's why he has such a half-assed Boston accent in the film.
Yeah.
Doesn't even make an attempt to make it better.
Yeah.
And he doesn't wear up anything. No Patriots, no New England stuff at all. No Red Sox cap. He was raised a Yankees fan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And also, the film took place the filming was actually in New York, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, because of politics and production settings, and because of New York City's 15% filmmaking tax credit. They shot in Boston for just 3 weeks. That was it. But mostly it was in New York. But after the success of this film, Boston raised their film. They actually created a 25% tax credit for filmmaking there.
Okay. Because I did. There were some parts that I know some Bostonians would recognize in the movie.
They would, yes.
So, but that's interesting. Cool.
Yeah, the film. Yeah, the acting was good. The directing, it was sort of choppy in certain parts, I thought.
Yeah.
But this film, it was the first time, not the first time, but one of the rare films that Scorsese actually does in the present day. Because he's used to doing period pieces.
That's true.
Yeah,
very true.
The 3 films he did before this were all period pieces. Casino, Gangs of New York, and The Aviator.
Yeah. A lot of the familiar actors in this movie were in some of those too.
DiCaprio primarily. Yeah. I mean, DiCaprio is pretty much Scorsese's new Bobby De Niro. He's had him in Gangs of New York, The Aviator, this one, Wolf of Wall Street.
That's another one, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
When did you first see this film?
I saw it a little after the theater, I feel like. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it like right when it came out of the theater. Either right when it came out of the theater legally or like someone had a copy of it.
Copies.
Yeah, and I watched it there. And like, funny enough, before I watched it for this show. I'd only watched it once, and I had the same sentiment when I was watching it. I was like, man, this is star-studded. As the movie was going on, I was like, dude, this is kind of dragging. What's going on? Like, how are we going to end this? Because it had been so long since I'd seen it, obviously.
And it's 2.5 hours long, too.
Literally, the last 30 minutes of the movie is like, wow. Yeah. Everything comes together in the last 30 minutes, and you're just like, wow. Especially, more or less, the last 15 minutes of the movie. You're just like, yo, this doesn't get any crazier.
Yeah, the death scenes.
It just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and it's like, okay, like, nicely put together.
Like, he's a mole. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense given the symmetry that they had earlier when they mentioned like another cop who was a mole in from the Boston Police Department.
Exactly.
The guy whose jaw that DiCaprio broke.
Yep. And like, what's his face? Jack Nicholson's character,
Frank
Costello was very smart at what very, very smart.
Smart and depraved.
Yeah.
He's just casually waving. When he first talks with the second time he talks with Billy Costigan, DiCaprio's character, he's sitting there like handling a severed hand.
Yeah.
And casually making conversation.
Yeah.
And you can tell how disturbed that DiCaprio's character is by that.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a wire too at the time.
At the time, yeah. So he was, it's like, dang.
When he got rid of that, and Mark Wahlberg's reaction, that was quick. You think he's dead already?
Yeah.
Like this has happened before. They're used to it.
Right. Wow.
And the good cop, bad cop dynamic between Wahlberg's character, Sergeant Dignam, and Martin Sheen's character, Captain Queenan.
Yeah.
And Sheen doing his best impression of a Kennedy. I'm like, am I looking at Ted Kennedy right here?
I know.
Because his accent was on point.
It's good, yeah.
And also, it's worth noting that Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon, they're from Massachusetts.
From Boston,
Yeah, so for them, this is like a homecoming.
Yeah.
Because if some of y'all recall, earlier in their career, that's how they talk naturally.
Yeah.
Until they've shed their accents.
Over time, it's true.
Ben Affleck's another one.
Yep. Ben Affleck's another one in there.
Mara Tierney, she no longer has an accent.
That's so true. Over time, Wahlberg's accent is kind of watered down.
It is, yeah.
From when he first started, it was really strong Bostonian.
And back when he was a rapper too.
Yeah, very strong. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it's like it's still there a little bit, but
it comes with an on-off switch.
Yeah, it's like an on and off.
And he probably comes out more when he goes home too.
Yeah.
It does that. And some actors from Boston, they grew up in Boston but do not have the accent at all, but they can fake it. Like Chris Evans, the Captain America.
Yeah.
He's from Boston.
He's from there too, huh?
And the chick that played the main character in Orange is the New Black, Taylor Schilling.
Okay.
The blonde hair chick.
She has
She's from Boston, but she has no accent.
She has no accent. She can
fake it though.
Yeah, okay. Obviously, if you're there from there, you probably know how to.
And black New Englanders, like New Edition, they're from Boston. They're from the Roxbury neighborhood of Boston. They sound like New Yorkers.
Yeah, they don't have that accent.
Yeah, it's like they don't have it at all. And when you ask a black Bostonian why you don't have the accent, they just say that's how the country ass white people in the state talk.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, country and city people.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, nah, it's a good movie. I like it's long, like you said, and like at the beginning or maybe the first half of the movie, you're like,
what's going on?
It's going on. It's taking forever. It's dragging.
They barely did an opening credits.
No, yeah. And then, like, literally the last 30 minutes, they piece it all together. You're just, like, your jaw just drops.
Okay, like it's going to be a resolution soon.
Yeah.
But then it defies your expectations. Like,
yeah, exactly. You're like
you were not expecting that when the elevator door
opens, and
DiCaprio gets shot point blank in the head.
You're like, whoa.
Holy shit.
Whoa. Yeah, whoa. Yeah, it's like your jaw dropped. And I had the same element of surprise watching it for this as I did the first, because it's been so long.
It's been so long, yeah.
So I'd kind of forgotten a lot of it. So when I was watching it, I was just like, wow.
And during my first viewing of it in the theater, there were times I thought this was like an action comedy because, how some of the outbursts of the characters, like when Alec Baldwin, when he beat the shit out of that technician.
Beat the shit out of him, dog.
Yeah. You fucked this whole thing up. The fuck did you do, you cocksucker? Let go of me. Then that foreshadows your Alec Baldwin's temper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His real life temper that the media says that he's got.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
And speaking of tempers, Mark Wahlberg playing that in always foul, indignant staff sergeant.
He was
Dignant.
a douchebag in there, man.
He was nice to Captain Queenan. He liked Queenan.
Yeah.
But even though he clearly didn't like Costigan, he was protective of all his undercovers.
Yeah, he was.
Because what's it called? When he beat Matt Damon after Captain Queenan got threw off the roof, and what's it called? Matt Damon's demanding that you give me the names of your undercovers.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I forgot the password, but if you want to come out to the garage with me, I'd be happy to give it to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Defiant.
I remember that.
Defiant as hell.
I remember that.
And then he tells him, take a leave of absence. Take a leave of
That's what?
Queenan's dead. I'm your boss now. I don't give a fuck. I'd rather hand in my papers first. The world needs plenty of bartenders. 2 weeks with pay. Good, I'll take that.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of the themes in the film, distrust.
Yeah.
That whole, that guilt that comes with being raised Irish Catholic.
Yeah, that's in there too, actually, yeah.
With Sullivan's character, Matt Damon's character, when he's in bed with his girlfriend, the psychiatrist. Yeah.
She messed with both of them.
She did, because what's it called? Not only is she his girlfriend, but what's it called? She's also Billy Costigan's therapist.
Yeah.
But then when he has an outburst and she says, you're no longer my client. And right then and there, he asked her out for coffee on the spot.
Yeah.
And she's looking at him like she'll say, you bold motherfucker, but I'm interested. Let's go.
I'll go. Yeah.
Like he's not your patient no more. So legally he can do that.
Yeah.
And it culminates with them having sex.
Yeah. And apparently he gets her pregnant, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's his baby, yeah. Because it was implied that Matt Damon's character, he was impotent. She's like, you want to talk about last night? He doesn't want to talk. It's actually very common with most guys. And he gets up to leave.
Yeah, I do remember that scene, actually. You're right. I forgot about it, but yeah, I remember that.
And all the machismo that Sullivan tries to show throughout the film, even in the beginning, when they get beat by that rugby team of firemen. Yeah. He's like, you bunch of fucking homos.
Yeah.
Yeah, go save a kitten in a tree, you fucking fags.
Yeah.
And when what's it called? When it's implied that what's it called? That his boss, Nicholson's character, is impotent too. He's like, all that violence and fucking and no sons.
No sons. He's raising. He's
looks
raising others as his sons.
Yeah, surrogates.
Surrogates, yeah.
Like,
that's a good way to put it.
Like
that's
Sullivan.
Actually, that's a good way. That's a good word to actually put it. Surrogate, yeah.
Yeah, because he has no
have, like biological kids.
None.
Sons, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he molded Sullivan since Sullivan was a little boy.
Little boy, as we saw at the beginning of the movie.
When he basically demanded that the owner of that grocery store / eatery give him a whole quantity of shit.
Yeah.
You like comic books?
Yep.
And also the way he just stuffed the comic books in the bag is like, that's you bloody savage.
Yeah.
Because I'm a comic nerd. It's like that's not the what you
keep
what
them
you
pristine.
do. And that's a Wolverine #1 too. You scrunch up in there.
You gotta keep them pristine, right? Good condition.
Yeah. I mean, granted, when I was younger, I would bring my shit to school with me, even still in bags and boards.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave.
What age did you kind of realize, hey, like I gotta do better at like?
When I was in college, when I was 18.
More so college, okay.
Yeah, when I went to a bunch of comic stores and saw them how they handle, when they were bagging and boarding my stuff, the newer issues and how they were handling it.
Yeah.
I watched them. It's like, and ask questions like, why do you do that? To get the air out of there before you seal it up.
Wow. Okay. So did yours lose aesthetic quality as when you were the ones you had when you were younger?
Some of them did, but I replaced them with newer ones eventually.
Okay.
And there was a point during my college years when I was at home for break ride, just bought a whole bunch of bags and boards and replaced the old ones with fresher ones.
I remember when we were in high school, like how your collection looked. Did you upgrade your way of storing them?
Yes.
Over time?
Yes, because remember at one point it was just in a little box.
Yes.
Yeah, with like 2 rows.
Yes.
Now you haven't seen
you
haven't seen what I have now. It's like a bit better organization system.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
Collector's mentality. It's probably the one thing I will not stop physically collecting.
It's your thing. I've always known that. So that's dope. And it's also like it's worth something. Like,
yeah, it's it.
Over time, it's lucrative.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
But yeah, back to The Departed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was molding Colin Sullivan ever since he was a little kid to be his mole in the state police.
Yeah.
And when he graduated, you see him in the back of Costello's car, and Costello gave him something that nearly puts him in tears. Like, what did you just give him?
Yeah.
Scorsese won't reveal what it was.
Yeah.
In fact, he likens it to whatever somebody looks at when they open the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, and that golden light just that's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are they seeing there? Heart's Desire or something?
That's good. That's a good point. Yeah, he was so enamored when he got that from him.
School's out, kid. You've earned it.
Yeah, school's out, kid.
And I love how they juxtapose that with DiCaprio's training in the state police. I'm like, he goes through an exam like a breeze.
It was more harsh, yeah.
And what's it called? Him and Anthony Anderson's character, Trooper Brown, they knew each other in the academy. And I like how they lampshade the whole racial aspect of Boston. I mean, granted, they talked about the Boston busing, the flashback to that in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And then, what's it called? DiCaprio says to Anderson's character, look at it like this. You're a black guy in Boston. You don't need no help from me to be completely fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, true.
You did say that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and when he gets, they got him to being a state police undercover mole and by they I mean Queenan and Dignam, Sheen and Wahlberg, when they do the whole good cop bad cop routine on him, because DiCaprio's character comes from a family of criminals, except for him and his father. And not only that, he's a child of two worlds. And on one hand, you got his mother, who's rich, lace curtain Irish, who has mostly full custody over him during the weekdays. And then his father, who lives poor in South Boston, he lives with him on the weekends.
That's true.
So on one hand, he's a pristine rich kid. On the other one, he's a tough Irish South Boston kid.
Yeah.
And Dignam, he kind of looks at him a certain way because of that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like why do you want to be a cop for?
Yeah.
You're too smart for this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you got 1,500 in your SATs. You're a fucking astronaut, not a skater.
What the hell are you doing here? Yeah.
But because of his background, that makes him the best candidate to go undercover.
That's true.
And it works too, because he did the whole nine. It was like method acting within a film. He had to do real jail time, be convicted of a crime.
Yeah. Just to look the part.
So he
yeah. Fits in, yeah.
And they sealed his file so that only those two had access to it. They're the only people that knew that he was a cop. And he goes to see, the first thing he does, he goes to see his cousin Shawn, Shawn and him, and their fathers are brothers, right?
Yeah.
And he convinces his cousin that, what's it called? I'm not a police officer, right? So in your line of work, if I give you 10 grand, what can I get back? And they start selling 8 balls together. And his cousin starts making fun of Puerto Ricans, which I found funny because the actor that plays him, Kevin Corrigan, half Puerto Rican. Yeah, that actor, he's actually the younger brother. He played the younger brother of Henry Hill in Goodfellas, Michael, the one who was in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Michael's, Henry says, don't burn the sauce. I'm stirring it.
Yeah.
But he manages to convince Costello that he's not a cop through a vicious interrogation scene, having his hand beat with a Timberland boot.
Yeah, I remember that.
But he goes hard.
That was rough.
He's like, okay, kid, there you go. Here, get your hand fixed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he gives him all the money. It was necessary.
Yeah.
He's right. It kind of was to convince him it was no
setup.
Yeah,
exactly.
But he before that, what really got Nicholson's attention was when he beat up 2 Italians from Providence who were trying to shake down some Indian store owner.
I remember that scene.
He beat the brakes out of them in a store, and that's how he damaged his hand. And the Indian guy, what is with everybody in this fucking country? Is everybody gone mad? Get out of here!
I have to go back. I don't think I remember that scene. Maybe I was doing something when the scene happened.
He's like, you keep calling me Babu, motherfucker. It's Singh is my name.
It's Singh. Hilarious. Yeah, I gotta recatch that. I don't think I remember that scene.
There's a lot of scenes made me think this was an action comedy, like I said earlier.
There
were funny.
There was some stuff in it that's funny, yeah. But that's typical of a Scorsese movie.
It is. There's always a lot of black humor.
Yeah, it's true. Even
in their violence, there's something you can't help but to laugh at.
Yeah.
Like for example, in the film Casino, when Joe Pesci and his brother near the end are being beaten with baseball bats.
Baseball bats.
And the funny part about that is it's Frank Vincent's character who's doing the beating, because in 2 other Scorsese films, Goodfellas and Raging Bull, Joe Pesci's character beat or humiliated Frank Vincent.
Yeah.
And not just because it's a reversal of roles, but because Frank Vincent at one point during the scene in Casino, he's beating his brother with 2 baseball bats in hand. It's like, God damn. It's overkill.
It's like, I finally get my licks in these movies. Yeah.
We're holding 2 bats, 2 metal bats, and beating the brother. Like, God damn. You don't hold back. Yeah. And a lot of these criminals in the film that they show in The Departed here, they're just violent, let loose. Like Mr. French, Costello's right-hand man. When he beat that one dude who DiCaprio had previously beaten for making fun of him for having cranberry juice.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, fuckhead, that's Jackie Costigan's nephew.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, fucking what? Bop, 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 bop. The fuck out of here.
Very violent. Very violent. Even, it must have been a real thing, because even in the other movie that you're referring to,
Black Mass?
Yeah, there was some violent scenes in there too.
There's violence in almost every film that takes place in Boston. Yeah. That's rated R. There's gonna be some violence. Yeah. That Irish Catholic mentality. Yeah, where they can't help but to just beat people. Yeah,
the IRA. Just remember that they even had a reference in this movie. He's like, "Wait, are you IRA? Which scene was that?"
At the scene after he interrogated DiCaprio.
Yeah.
After he walks out, let's not cry over spilled guineas. Yeah. Who let this IRA motherfucker know I buy? Yeah. Just kidding. How's your mother? Oh, she's on her way out. We all are. Act accordingly.
Yeah. Nicholson's.
He's unpredictable.
Yeah, he's great. He's great at what he does, man.
And this was the last film he was in since 2000. The last film since 2020 that grossed $100 million before he went to retirement.
I see. So he's officially retired.
He's officially retired.
That's why we don't see him in movies anymore.
Yeah, he's.
I don't even think we see him in Lakers games like that anymore.
Nah, he doesn't go to Lakers games either. The man's like 80. He'll be 88 this year.
So he's just passing time until he's gone. Basically.
Pretty much it. He's got enough money, like $400 million he's made.
Yeah. Is he? He has no children?
He's got 4 children, illegitimate children.
Oh.
Yeah, he's never been married.
Why.
Yeah.
That's why. Yes. Any guys? Any Jack Juniors? No.
He's got 1 son. That's his last born child. At which point he said, "I finally got it right."
I see.
After having 3 daughters.
I see.
But he was living with Angelica Houston for years back in the 70s. And after that, to prove that he still got game, he stole Laura Flynn Boyle from David Spade. She was dating Spade at the time, and they were smoking a joint with Nicholson. Yeah. And he asked her out right in front of Nicholson. Right in front of Spade. And a few weeks later,
they were out together.
Much to David Spade's shock.
Wow.
She basically cuckolded him.
Yeah.
Being at Lakers games with him and shit.
Yeah. He's a pimp. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard he was the man when he was. Yeah, he's known.
Yeah, he's known. Danny DeVito told a story too how they went out together after the success of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
And they're riding in Nicholson's convertible, and Nicholson, he's like, "Jack, we knew each other from childhood because we're from the same town in Jersey." Yeah. And their parents ran a hair salon together. But Jack hands me a joint. I'm smoking it down there. And what's it called? I got to find the video for it, but it culminates with DeVito saying how Jack is just so cool, even in the face of an accident.
I believe it.
I spilled coke on a guy by accident. The guy wanted to beat me, but Nicholson quelled it. And he's like, "So Danny, you want another coke?" Just so chill and laid back.
Yeah, he's just a chill dude. Interesting. Cool, man. Well, hope retirement is treating him well.
Yes. Yeah. Other things that went on in this film. The technician guy that Alec Baldwin beat, when they realized that there's surveillance on Costello buying those microprocessors from the Asian people. Mm-hmm. When they realized...
Yeah, the microprocessors.
Like, wait a minute. We have a blind spot. Why do we have a blind spot? We only had 2 hours notice. 2 hours. The fuck do you think this is? NASA?
Yeah.
Never crossed my mind.
Yes, I do remember that scene.
Did you put a camera in the back? What back? And they all look at me. What the fuck? Oh, fuck, this operation just went to hell.
Yeah, it's done.
And then the whole invoking Patriot Act. I love it. The Patriot Act. There's a lot of like post 9/11 sentiment in the film too.
Yeah.
Because you even see it in the bars where they got a United We Stand sticker in the back.
That movie was made around then, wasn't it?
It was 2006, like 5 years after.
5 years after, okay.
Yeah, post 9/11 sentiment was still in the air back then. Not so much anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think things have happened since like the marathon, which is kind of.
Well, yeah, the Boston Marathon, the bombing there, which was also dramatized in the film Patriots Day, which also has Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's something else I noticed too. Kevin Bacon, he's been in a lot of. He's from Philly, but he's been in a lot of films and series where he has to play a Boston character. He was in Patriots Day. What else? Black Mass, and he was one of the main characters in Mystic River.
Which one? Kevin who?
Kevin Bacon.
Bacon, okay, I know who that is.
Yeah. Hollow Man.
Yeah.
He one of the best actors to never even get nominated for an Oscar. He's been in everything.
He's a good actor, yeah. He's a good actor.
Footloose.
Yes. Yeah, when he was younger.
Yeah, he didn't fall into the whole known from the 80s thing. He just kept going.
Yeah, he just kept going. Yeah.
He was in Sleepers, too, where he was a real bad motherfucker. Evil. You wanted him to kill. You wanted him to die.
I don't think I've seen Sleepers.
Oh, we got to see that one. That's a good one.
Good one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Another ensemble cast.
Okay. Okay. Definitely, I need to check it out then.
It had Brad Pitt in there, and to connect it back to this, Brad Pitt was originally the guy they wanted to play Colin Sullivan, Matt Damon's character, but he had to drop out. But he did help produce the film, and if you watch the ending credits, it says produced by Brad Pitt.
Is Brad really originally from that area as well? Or no?
He's not from Boston, no. Okay, no. He's from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, he's one of them pretty actors who can act and got lucky.
Yeah.
Because he was mostly doing extras before he hit big in the early 90s.
I see.
And
I would have never guessed he's from Oklahoma though, but yeah.
Nah, cool. He doesn't. He does good accents in a lot of his films that make you think, where are you from?
Right.
California?
Right. That would have been my guess, honestly. If it wasn't Boston, it would have been. Not that he has a Bostonian accent. He just looks like he could be from there. But if not, I would have guessed California. Yeah.
And he also looked the part when he was in Sleepers. When he played one of the main characters, he was a lawyer. And his name and his last name, he was actually named Michael Sullivan. That was his character's name. A Hell's Kitchen Irish American who later became an assistant district attorney in New York. And the fact that he's an attorney and was raised Irish in Hell's Kitchen reminds me of Matt Murdock, Daredevil. And looking at him in the film with that red hair, like, dude, if you were blind and with a walking stick, you'd be a perfect Daredevil.
Yeah.
But Ben Affleck, he did all right on the screen for it years later, despite what people say. Charlie Cox is good, but his Irish accent keeps showing.
That's actually a very popular, now I think about it, it's a very popular Irish name, Sullivan.
Sullivan? Yeah, it is.
So I actually had a friend when I was a kid in the UK. His name was John O'Sullivan. He's Irish.
A lot of black folks we know have Irish last names. Casey, Mahoney, Murphy.
Yeah. Those are actually, funny enough, she have friends also in the UK with those last names, like Murphy. Not Casey, but Murphy was one. Another one I had in school in the UK.
Anything with Mick or O on it, that's Irish. O'Brien, McLeod.
There was an O'Brien, no McLeod. There was McMurphy. There's even been a Shanahan that was Irish.
Yeah, that's an Irish name.
Yeah, there's a Shanahan that was Irish as well.
Cassidy?
No.
Rourke?
No.
Kelly, that's another one.
There were Kellys. A couple actually. So lots of Irish people in my school when I was there. So one of my best friends when I was a kid was half Irish. So, but his name was Dowling, so you wouldn't have been able to. But his dad's Irish accent was gangster. You couldn't hear what he. Even me living there and like hearing accents, like
you could barely make out what he was saying.
I can watch a lot of stuff on YouTube or even Netflix without, because a lot of Americans tend to put on the subtitles to hear English people.
Really?
Yeah, I can
hear English.
It doesn't matter what lingo. Like sometimes it could even be street lingo. I'd hear everything without having issues. Because living there,
you
still kind of understand it even as you get older. But his dad, Nah, dog. I couldn't hear it. His Irish accent was so strong.
I thought Scottish was bad.
Scottish is worse, but his Irish accent was strong as hell. I could not hear it. It would be like, Sometimes I'd have to have him say it again just so I could hear it. Yeah, it was real. It was real.
Are you daft?
Very, very strong accent.
Yeah, the Scottish accent I found is thicker. I'm like, whoa, slow down.
Scottish is tougher to hear.
Yeah.
Scottish is much strong.
And the funny thing is, there's Scottish actors Scottish actors, when they got to do American roles, they're the best at Southern American. Yeah, they do that accent very good. Like Kelly MacDonald, she's Scottish. She was the wife in No Country for Old Men.
And I think also they speak very fast. That's hard too.
And the chick from Breaking Bad who played Lydia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's Scottish.
She's Scottish.
And lastly, the best known Scottish actor is Brian Cox. He's been in everything. He was the guy from the first 2 Jason Bourne movies. He was in X-Men 2 as William Stryker.
Wasn't he also in was he in Braveheart?
He may have been.
One of the guys in he's Irish. He's actually Irish.
Oh.
He's actually in the movie. He's actually in this movie.
The guy that plays Mr. French?
Yes.
Ray Winstone.
Yeah, because he helped William Wallace, but he was known as an Irishman in Braveheart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was Irish.
He's English. He's English, but he's Irish American here.
Yeah. So even in Braveheart, he's Irish.
Here he almost sounds Australian a little bit. Okay, Francis.
Yeah.
And his character, Mr. French, is the only one that calls Frank by his full name. Like he's his
like original name. Yeah. Favorite scenes for you?
Well, some of my favorite scenes are the scene that when all hell broke out after Captain Queenan and Trooper Costigan were on the roof, and then he realizes, you were followed. And he's like, by who? Costello's people. Impossible.
Yeah.
Not unless one of the guys he had the inside tipped him off. And the look on his face like he's thinking about who could have been.
Yeah.
And I think he realized it may have been Sullivan.
Yeah.
Because he told Sullivan earlier, follow Costello's rat, you'll find Costello. And he took that advice to heart and had his men follow follow Queenan actually.
Yeah.
But that whole scene, and it's like when they went overkill and threw him off the roof, like, y'all are cop
that
killers.
Was crazy. All you see was the body.
And then when it hits and it sprays Billy, it's like,
what?
Like he couldn't believe it. And neither could the other cops that were in surveillance. Like, that was a fucking body, Sarge, a fucking body.
Yeah.
And he's telling them, do not pursue, stay in the car, don't fucking pursue. No, fuck this. And he gets out of the car and starts shooting. It's like, Well, they threw a cop off the roof, so you're right to shoot, I guess. But Matt Damon's reaction over the intercom as he's hearing this in the darkness in his office, like, what?
Yeah.
Officer down, officer, fuck this.
Yep.
Yeah, you did all this. This is your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mark Wahlberg's character knows it too. He knows on some level that dude is the mole. The way he goes at him and beats him. And
he keeps composed for the most part.
He's like, why the fuck were your guys following him? I told internal investigations to follow Captain Queenan. But why? That's internal investigations business. It just decks him right in the face. Finally, somebody punches this dude. And the way Sullivan comes off is like I'm gonna tell my daddy on you is the way he sounds.
Yeah.
I can fucking investigate anybody I fucking want to. And he's Mark Wahlberg, the tough Boston street kid, to him goes, let him go. Come on.
Yeah, man.
That's one of my favorites. And the last one, my last favorite scene is just the whole exchange where all 3 characters die in the end.
Yeah, I call it the revelation.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
It just kept...
When it's revealed that Costello, he had recordings of everything.
Yes, everything.
And left them with Billy.
Yep.
He told the lawyer, my lawyer, if something happens to me, give it to him, not this other guy.
It's like the moment Costello actually dies, everything... The moment Costello dies, everything just kind of unravels.
It does, yes.
It's just like, what? And it's like, just when you think you've seen it all, something else happens. I don't want to reveal too much of a spoiler in case you haven't seen it, because it'll kind of ruin the whole point of watching it. But like there are so many characters you may have suspected as the movie goes, but I guarantee you there's at least 1 or 2 that you didn't suspect.
Yeah,
were moles But yeah, just watch it. This is one movie I'd love to hear people's feedback, honestly, like what they thought as they were watching this movie. So feel free and leave comments in the comment section, either on YouTube or on our page on Instagram.
Yes, we love to hear your thoughts on this as well too.
Yeah.
See if you thought of things that we haven't thought of, because that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And also, did you notice that in every death scene there's an X marks a spot somewhere? Whether it's in the window when Queenan got killed, when he was falling, you see the X's in the window. When Colin Sullivan was going home, the X's on the floor. They did that a lot, actually.
In that movie, huh?
And in the elevator
I didn't
scene,
realize it was that consistent.
And in the elevator scene right before Costigan gets shot.
It was an X as well?
Right there in the elevator walls.
Interesting.
Yeah, they did that on purpose. It's a homage to the original Scarface from 32. Because they used to use that as a motif to foreshadow death. Yeah.
Wow.
And X.
Shout out to Scorsese for that. Huh?
And of course, X is a literal double cross, which goes a lot in the movie.
The distrusting.
Yeah.
Theme. Yeah,
very symbolic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but Scorsese winning for this film, it's like, I'm glad he won an Oscar, but as good as this film was, he's done better before this.
I agree.
Goodfellas, Casino, Gangs of New York, those were way better.
Because to be fair, even as good as this ends,
yeah,
like I don't think I've ever watched a Scorsese movie where I'm like, okay, this is dragging. Like, where are we going with this again?
Mm-hmm.
And then before it unfolds. Whereas in the past, I'm just like really watching his movies, like, oh, this is good. Like, this is getting better. This is good. This one, I feel it's saved, like the last 30 minutes save it all for me. Because otherwise I'd have been like, it's cool, but it's a little dragged. But the way they put everything together at the end, I'm like, okay, it's actually a pretty damn good movie. But I agree, he's done better movies.
He has. Like, for example, if I'm watching cable, sitting at cable on my couch, and I come across Casino, no matter what part it's in,
it's like a Godfather. You can watch it. You just watch it.
I just watch it. Yeah.
It
just holds my attention the whole time. It's
true.
captivating. It's captivating no matter how many times I've seen it, and I've seen it at least 100.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
The Godfather films, the first two.
Yeah.
I come across them. It's like
from wherever it's in, wherever it starts.
Yeah,
you just continue.
It could be the end of the film when Rocco Lamponi, when he shoots Hyman Roth in the airport scene.
You still watch it.
I'll still watch it.
Yeah, exactly. It's same with even Goodfellas. Like you can watch it from anywhere, like regardless of where the movie starts, wherever you catch it, So
and the music in Goodfellas was so good too.
Yeah.
Scorsese, that's another gift that he has. He knows how to use music in the film.
And the scores scores are always great.
Scores and just pop culture songs. He loves Rolling Stones. Like there's not a film that he's made where he doesn't use "Gimme Shelter" like he used in the beginning of this film.
This movie,
And other sounds in the film: "Sail On Sailor" by the Beach Boys. What else? A live version of "Comfortably Numb," which was used in the affair scene that the sex scene that Costigan has with the psychiatrist. The live version of "Comfortably Numb" by
She's in another movie, right? Like her face, she's familiar. Where have I seen?
Farmiga? She's been in a lot.
Okay.
Source Code. She was in the Sopranos prequel. Okay. She's a very versatile actress.
Yeah, I was like, man, I've seen her somewhere.
Yeah, she's been Academy Award nominated too, like twice already.
Okay, so that kind of sums it up there. Yeah.
And they use "Baby Blue" by Badfinger in the scene where he shoots the guy in the knee, right? And like, what's it called? Why do you think Costello never gets arrested? He's a fucking FBI informant. He'll trade you up.
Yeah, I remember that part.
The song "Baby Blue" playing in the background. That's the same song that they use at the very end of the series finale for Breaking Bad. Baby Blue.
I see.
The blue.
I wouldn't have caught that, but yeah, that's a good capture, like a good.
What did he call his meth? Blue something.
Oh, in
Breaking Bad.
Shit, yeah, it was Blue something. You're right.
Blue Crystal. I forget the name of it, but he had there was a special name. There was a name for it.
There was a name for it. Yeah, there was a name for it.
Of course, they use all those songs with blue in there. Like Crystal Blue Persuasion during the season where they keep using them houses to make money under the Vamonos Pest guys.
Yeah.
The montage of that is like, brilliant. Brilliant.
What a show.
Well, like, this is going to come to an end soon.
Yeah, what a show.
Yeah.
Which we talked about a couple seasons ago, I think.
We did last season, actually.
Yeah. So.
But The Departed, good film. Scorsese said better, I thought. And he went out of his element, which was very brave to do, leaving his native New York to do it in Boston this time around.
Yeah. He's from there, huh?
He's from New York.
New York, okay.
Yeah, Little Italy section.
Okay.
Yeah. And this film also helped popularize the shipping up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys. Yeah, and it made it the official song for the Patriots and for Boston in general.
I see.
That joint.
So the Patriots use that, huh?
Mm-hmm, they use that. That was like their theme, especially during our Tom Brady years. He's a Colts fan. You got Michael Jackson and Freddie Gibbs.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Si.
You're welcome. They're from there. Yeah, whatever he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael is from Gary. You're right.
And Freddie.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we talk about rivalries in pro wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fans have enjoyed several epic rivalries between legendary wrestlers, but these feuds, they can last for months or even years. But for fans that are timeless, as good as they were so good it was impossible to forget them.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are cases when wrestlers might not even have a rivalry on screen, but just absolutely hate each other off screen, like regular coworkers.
Yeah.
But due to many wrestlers still believing in the principles of keeping the fiction, keeping the illusion alive, a lot of real life grudges don't always get spoken about or addressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, some of those grudges, well, a lot of them involve one wrestler, I think, in particular. Hulk Hogan.
Your favorite?
No, Macho Man's my favorite nigga.
He loves Hulkamania.
Puke. Vomit.
Oh,
Hulk Hogan, he dresses like a Hooters waitress.
Yes, your boy, dog. Anyway, yeah.
A lot of the feuds have involved Hogan. Jesse Ventura, he was beefing with Hogan in the 80s.
Oh my God, that was one that was on and off screen actually.
It was, yeah.
So, I feel like that fueled Jesse selling it so much on screen because he couldn't stand him off screen.
Yeah, that's I think was his catalyst for it too.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing when he wanted to unionize the wrestlers, then Hogan went to McMahon.
Smart.
Yes. But Hogan snitched McMahon and then told all the wrestlers, if y'all unionize, you can kiss his job goodbye.
Yeah. And ironically, Jesse actually lost his job, but Vince realized that the company is not the same without him. He had to rehire him almost immediately.
They couldn't have had the 80s pay-per-view events without Jesse Ventura.
Nah, he's a legend, man. He's actually my favorite commentator.
Yeah, him and Gorilla Monsoon. Yeah, they were put it like this. They're goats among color commentators.
Yeah.
That pairing was GOAT.
Yep.
Tony Schiavone, Professional Mike Tenay, they're another one in WCW.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah, Heenan and a Gorilla Monsoon.
They were also very good. Heenan were actually very good. They probably only second to Gorilla and Jesse.
McMahon and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Oh yeah, they were also okay. McMahon was also solid with Evie was also solid with Jesse as well from time to time.
But I still say this: the last great color commentators, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. They're the last.
Those were
ones.
hilarious. Shout out to my man Luiso. Those are his.
Good God Almighty! He killed him.
That's Luiso's. I'm sure that if we were to ask Luiso who's his favorite, those are his favorite too, right? Yeah,
they were just made it fun.
They were hilarious. Yeah.
This is gonna be a slobber knocker.
A slobber knocker. Yeah.
And Jerry Lawler kissing McMahon's ass always.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one well-known feud that was both in the ring and outside the ring: Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Long before they even got paired against each other as solo wrestlers too.
Yeah.
And I think it really stems from the Rockers actually beating the Hart Foundation.
When they were champs?
Yeah, when the Harts were champs in a non-televised match. But you can see it now though on pay-per-view. I mean, not on pay-per-view, on YouTube. Yeah. They finally pieced the match together from footage that they never actually publicized. But that ring, the reason why they never publicized the match for originally was because the rope in the ring, it broke.
Oh.
But they still had to adapt and make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rockers won that match and they won the tag titles. But the excuse always was why the Harts got it back so quickly, why the decision was reversed, was because Jim Neidhart, he renewed his contract.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So they ended up dropping the titles to the Nasty Boys instead, yeah?
Yeah, that's what happened. And that's the event that broke up the Hart Foundation.
Right after that, yeah.
That was their last pay-per-view match. I mean, they did some house shows after that in between, but then they split up for good a few weeks later when we see Bret on Superstars by himself. And Jim Neidhart nowhere to be found.
Okay.
Yeah, Bret and Shawn Michaels, though, they put on some great matches in the 90s. Even when Bret was WWF champion and Michaels was the newly minted IC champion, they had some
that was a good match.
They had some good non-title matches. Yeah. And of course, we all know it culminated with the Montreal Screwjob, which was just as real as it was.
At the time.
That was critical.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 12, that's another one right there.
Yeah, I think the Screwjob indirectly was the beginning of the end of Bret Hart's career, actually.
You could say that because WCW didn't know what the hell to do with him.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of the end. He started to go down the hill after that. And I think Michaels was on the ascendancy.
He was, even though he went into his first retirement like right after WrestleMania 14 a few months later.
Yeah. Injury, right? Was it injury related?
Yeah, it was injury. All that running he did where he flipped and slammed his back in the turnbuckle.
Yeah, affected him.
Yeah, and how he just oversells things.
Yeah.
Like, and you remember in WrestleMania 5 when the Twin Towers fought the Rockers?
Yeah, the clothesline.
Yeah, how he just oversold that like his neck was broken. Like, good God.
He decapitated him.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I believe it irritated Akeem. That's what Jesse said. I believe he irritated Akeem.
That's funny.
Yeah, hilarious. Yo, I do remember that though. And the same something along the lines was reason like his eye socket got loose, like the muscle weakened or something.
Yeah, I think
he's more cross-eyed now.
I think he took a really hard hit from somebody. Either a super kick that went wrong or he landed incorrectly.
Okay.
And his super kick, even in his later years, that was still a devastating move.
Yeah.
Sweet chin music.
Yeah.
He always could pull it off.
Yeah. Anywhere. Unexpectedly.
Like when he fought Rey Mysterio Jr., yo. And Michaels, he's similar to that kind of style of wrestling as he trained in Texas.
Yeah.
And the Mexican style influenced him a little bit.
Almost.
The luchador wrestlers,
yeah.
If Michaels were in WCW during the 90s, he would have been great in the cruiserweight.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, the cruiserweight, that was the best part of WCW.
I agree. Great matches.
They had one great match at Halloween Havoc 98. Rey Mysterio against Eddie Guerrero.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Wow. Two legends in that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie, you would think that Eddie was unfriendly as hell because of how he came off in WCW. But what's it called? He was...
A lot of people looked up to him, yo.
Yeah, I think he was the best wrestler in this whole family.
Yeah. 100%. What was another great match was Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis.
Oh, Psychosis. He was sick.
Sick, yeah, man. Yeah, I remember those days. But yeah, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, they're cool now.
Yeah. You see them now. It's like they see each other. They're cordial. And they let bygones be bygones like grown men.
Yeah.
They're almost senior citizens now. And they're in their 60s.
Yeah. They consider senior citizens at this age. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we've met Shawn Michaels. He seems a pretty humble dude now.
Very, very humble now, chill. Contrary to what he was in the 2000s.
Yeah, he was. He was in the 90s and the 2000s, Shawn Michaels. He was all about himself and his group. All about screwing. He doesn't care who he had to screw over to get what he wanted.
To get what he wanted,
yeah. Like he wouldn't drop the title for nobody.
Figuratively and literally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he smashed Sonny.
Yeah.
And Bret, so did you. You ain't gotta lie about it.
He claims he didn't. But...
He claims he didn't, but come on, dude. You out on the road, you gotta get your nuts somehow.
Well, I didn't say that, Bret, in case you watched this. That was size.
Don't worry.
That was size opinion, you know.
Don't worry, Bret Hart. I love you, Bret Hart, but what's it called? What I was gonna say was this. Even though he gripes, people think he's whining about certain wrestlers now. It's over.
Right, yeah.
Like he still has every right to be pissed off at Bill Goldberg. Goldberg ended his career. Goldberg ended his career. That's that kick where he just basically injured his neck or broke a collarbone.
Oh, that fake ass Goldberg super kick that he does.
Yeah.
That's how he injured.
That's
Bret.
how he injured him. That ended his career.
He broke Bret's collarbone.
Or something.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah, and Bret's so pissed off about that, and I would be too, considering how Goldberg comes off.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, as long as I don't feel the need to apologize since it was just an accident, I didn't do it on purpose.
Like,
that don't matter.
It's like the Ultimate Warrior almost.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior, like when he cursed out that kid who just wanted his autograph.
Yeah. And they made him do an apology video.
Yeah, Vince made him do an apology video for that. It's like, dude, you can't be crooking out on a fan like that. And besides, if you were incognito like Taker, the kid wouldn't have probably came up to you. But no, you're wearing all your Warrior gear like it's a billboard. Yeah. Taker at least is in a corner with his sunglasses on, his hat down, trying to blend in.
Like, I hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it. Taker actually commented on that.
Yeah, he's the first person I heard it from.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
The way he tells the story is like, damn, dude. Yeah, and even though Taker, he's younger than the Ultimate Warrior, he still understood the game better.
Yeah, he did.
Because you have never heard nothing bad about Taker backstage.
No. Team player too.
Team player, but even during the Montreal screw job, he felt like walking out too. But he's the one that rallied everybody back together. Like, come on, we're not skipping out on Raw, guys. The show has to go on. Yeah. As pissed off as we are.
Yeah. But yeah, feuds.
Yeah.
We got
Give me some.
Real life or on screen?
Give me on screen.
On screen, some of my favorites definitely was Hogan and Savage. That was a good one. Warrior and Rick Rude was another good one.
Yeah, Rick Rude was a better wrestler, and as long as Warrior was wrestling against somebody who knew what he was doing, they can make it look good.
Yeah, British Bulldogs and then Hart Foundation were once a good one as well.
They had real life beef with the Rougeaus, didn't they?
They did.
The fabulous.
Kind of ended up demolishing the Bulldogs after that. Because after that SummerSlam, the one with the 10-man tag. That was the last time.
Or the Survivor Series.
Sorry, Survivor Series. Yeah,
that was the last time the British Bulldogs were together as a tag team.
Yeah. So, yes. And then obviously over time, Dynamite's injury issues got the best of him and stuff.
And plus, they were eliminated quick from that match too.
Yeah. Savage and Steamboat was another really good one.
That was great. That was storytelling at its finest.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, Savage. The whole idea of Savage ending his career for a bit, he had to go to the hospital to get throat surgery.
Oh yeah, when he used the bell and just slammed it around his throat.
Yeah. It was really good rivalry, and even George the Animal Steel was kind of filtered in there as well to be, he was in love with Elizabeth, so that kept
like a subplot in the Savage Steamboat storyline.
Yeah, exactly, because at that point Steamboat was technically in the hospital.
Yeah,
so they had George the Animal Steel kind of prolong the beef. So when Steamboat came back, everybody was surprised, like, oh wow, he came back from his surgery, and that kind of set the stage for WrestleMania 3. And that great match.
That match stole the show. It was better than the main event. People still say Hogan slammed Andre. Watch the IC title match.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Yeah, you didn't know who was going to win that or how.
Yeah.
The finish wasn't spectacular, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was like, holy shit, this is like, let's go either way.
Back and forth. Yep.
And those men, true athleticism, athletic performance at its finest. And you say wrestling is not about athletes. Well, it's not about competition, but you got to be in shape to do a lot of that shit.
Yeah, 100%.
And those men, wow.
100%. A big one in the 80s was also Hogan and Andre. That was like, it was like two forces.
They were literally the two biggest stars.
Yeah, even though they only had really, two title matches. Their feud just was there behind the scenes as like the giants of the wrestling world. Even though there were other wrestlers that had stole headlines here and there, those two's feud was still up there to the extent that in WrestleMania 4, they had a bye. Their match was so big that the winner of that match had a bye before there was a bye. There was a bye before their match.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And they both got disqualified.
Yeah, they both got exactly. So that's why.
And Hogan's bitch ass still acted like he acted like he won.
Yeah.
Posing for the crowd, like, get the fuck out of here, please.
Exactly. But yeah, their feud was one that was very memorable for years. I'm trying to think. Piper and Hogan had a feud as well at one point.
When Piper
and
was
Mr. Wonderful as well.
His feud with Mr. Wonderful, I like how that culminated in that steel cage match on the Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
But when I met Mr. Wonderful before he passed away back in 2016, I had to thank him for that match, and he was surprised, like, thank you. I'm like, I still think you won. I told him. Your feet hit the ground first.
Exactly.
Yeah, you watched the thing. They did.
Yeah. Gorilla Vince McMahon. Jesse the Body Ventura was correct. Your feet, rest in peace. Your feet did land before Hogan's. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any ones you? One feud I hated was definitely Sting versus NWO. Shit was unrealistic.
When they reinvented Sting with his crow image,
fake ass crow. Dog.
Yeah, and had him come from the ceiling. I'm like, I was enjoying this at first, like him putting a beating on the NWO because nobody was fighting back against the NWO. But this made it more interesting. But after the first few times, like, wait a minute. There's like 9 of these niggas right here, and only 1 of you. How can you sell that you beat all of them without getting touched?
Used to piss me off. David used to love it. Used to eat it up.
David's a big fan of the Crow, is what it is.
That's why. That too.
If it was Sting coming down from the ceiling with his surfer dude vibe and the blonde hair or whatever, he wouldn't be fucking with him.
Yeah. Well, he might beg to differ, but regardless of what Sting it was, the shit was unrealistic and fake, and I hated it.
And they started actually putting a beating on Sting too, like once or twice during that whole period.
I think it was much later, right?
Much later, yes. I'm like, put a beating on him. That baseball bat don't mean shit. Sneak behind him and fuck him up.
Right. Ugh, shit was so annoying.
Yeah, but that's when the whole angle WCW versus NWO started to get played out.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with it after a while.
After a while, they split it into the Red and Black Wolfpack and NWO Hollywood. Mm-hmm. That was cool at first, but it's like y'all lost some key players like Macho Man.
Yeah.
After a while, and y'all don't know what to do, and they just merged them kind of back together while treating the other members who weren't part of the core group as like the B team.
Yeah. Some of the real life feuds, Savage and Hogan, they had a love-hate relationship.
They did. I don't know if they ever reconciled.
Yeah.
But
Hogan claims they did it, but you can never believe Hogan.
That's true.
But yeah, they at one point they were best friends. And at one point, Savage hated his guts. Savage literally made a whole rap album dissing him.
Be a man! Including one song dedicated to him, actually. The title track.
Yeah,
Savage had a rap album. Oh my God.
And like he had 50 endorse it.
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
Jim Cornette and Vince Russo had a real life.
They hate Jim Cornette loathes Vince Russo.
Yeah.
If you look on YouTube and ask him to shoot about Vince Russo, oh my God.
Yeah.
He just goes off on him. He thinks Vince Russo fucked up the business during the Attitude Era by making it more Jerry Springerish. Mm-hmm. And he blames him for the Montreal Screwjob.
Interesting.
Yeah, Jim Cornette, he's a professional wrestling historian, and he has encyclopedic knowledge of every aspect of pro wrestling, as he served as every role in it as possible. Except as a pro wrestler, I don't think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, no.
But he served in every other.
At least I don't have any recollection of him.
Me neither.
As a pro wrestler.
If he has, well, great, and my bad for not knowing, but other than that, he's occupied every role in there.
Yeah.
Enough to be able to be an authority on it.
Yeah. I can't talk about feuds without leaving this out. One of the most legendary ones, not real life, but on screen.
What?
Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon.
Oh, that was great. Attitude Era, that was great.
Oh
my goodness. The rebellious employee versus the totalitarian boss.
Exactly.
Comedy all through 98.
At its best. It was great, man.
All through 98.
Oh my
goodness.
I loved it. It was so good. It was so good.
If you want me to react in the
Vince had the worst end of the stick most of the time. It was hilarious.
The first time he stunned him, and McMahon
like yeah.
And Stone Cold starts getting in his face talking shit. I'm like, tell me there's a mic'd up version of this. I want to hear what Stone Cold's saying. His face looks funny as hell.
And then in the hospital with the
bedpan.
Yeah.
Ah! No!
Yeah.
I always knew you were full of shit, man.
So it's okay, Nurse. I'll take it from here.
He's like, what?
He's like, wait, what?
No. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that shit was hilarious, man.
And the Zamboni when he sprayed beer on him, Shane McMahon, and The Rock.
Right.
Oh my.
Right. I will fire your ass.
You stupid bastard. You ain't got the balls to fire Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I don't have the balls. I've got balls the size of grapefruits.
And this Sunday,
you're gonna be picking the seeds out of your teeth.
Or how do you say you're gonna spit out the seeds?
And it's
him and our friend Luis, so they can do that impression the best. Oh my goodness! Well, the first time we heard that, I'm like, they can do this now. And I'm kind of confused by that line too. He said, "I've got balls the size of grapefruits, and this Sunday you're going to be picking my seeds out of your teeth."
What?
What does that mean? You're going to ejaculate in his mouth?
Basically.
I'm like, well, Vince is on some kinky shit as we later found out. So
it's like, first of all, you got a hernia, Vince. If you got your balls the size of grapefruits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I get what you're trying to say about big balls, but yeah.
The picking my seeds out of your teeth. I won't even say that to any competitive coworker that comes my way.
Right.
Not just because of the homoerotic context, but because it just sounds bizarre. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even sound like a good comeback.
Powers of Pain and Demolition, they could have done better with that feud.
They should have had the Powers of Pain win those belts once during that rivalry.
It would have made it a better rivalry.
Yeah, it would have.
They lost all their matches against the Demolition.
Between Demolition being heels and faces later on.
Yeah.
Powers of Pain never beat them.
They never beat them, which kind of ruined. But like the build up to that Survivor Series, it was like, wow, these are two powerhouses about to clash. Mm-hmm. Couldn't even tell which one was going to win at the time.
But
so.
I think the intended effect was to keep Demolition as heels, even with Fuji switching sides.
Yeah, it was the fans that decided.
But it backfired, They like Demolition more.
Yeah. The fans decided that.
So Demolition had an unintended face turn, which turned out good for them, though.
Yeah, it did.
Because they won those tag team titles twice, 2 more times, and still hold the record for the longest collective days the tag team has been champions. No one's beat them yet. Not even the New Day.
Oh yeah.
Which shows the extent of my knowledge of the current state of pro wrestling. That or Cody Rhodes.
Shout out to Cody.
Yeah, and they keep talking about John Cena's face turn when he turned against Cody Rhodes and aligned with The Rock. That was talked about months ago.
Okay.
I'm like, I saw that when I looked at the video for it. I'm like, I saw that turn coming from a mile away.
It wasn't as epic.
No, it wasn't. It didn't look unexpected to me.
Yeah.
Like I know
that Powers of Pain one was like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah.
And like even the commentators sold it. Like something stinks here. Mm-hmm. It's like some agent falling out tonight. That's what they said.
Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon.
That was a good one.
That was a fun feud.
Their matches was really good.
And they were friends in real life, too.
Yeah. Their matches were really good.
The ladder matches, those were great.
So good.
Those were great. They sold everything in there.
Yeah.
Shawn won one and Razor won another one. Was it like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's exactly what happened. But their matches were entertaining till you couldn't tell who was going to win. That's how well the matches were back and forth.
Well choreographed.
Yeah.
This was during the period when the Clique was looking out for each other, and this is a prime example of how well those guys can work together.
Yeah. I said the Warrior and Rick Rude. I think those were Warrior's best matches. Rick Rude's his matches.
Rick Rude carried those matches.
Yeah, he did. Those were Warrior's best. So Warrior didn't have too many memorable matches, but his 3 or 4 matches he had with Rick Rude were all good. Because of Rick Rude. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then also the career-ending match was a very good one.
That was a good one, too.
Yeah,
even though everybody involved in that match, even the Colored Commentators, are all dead now, but still.
Yes. I actually watched the match this week. So WWE has a WWE Vault.
What, on Peacock?
On YouTube.
Oh.
And they have...
The full version?
Yeah, they have... So they're currently... Because WrestleMania is this month, I think?
It's today, actually, this weekend.
Oh! Shout out to WrestleMania. So, like, the past...
Number 41.
Yeah, the past week, they have the 40 or 30 best WrestleMania matches. And I think that came at number 11.
The career-ending match?
Yeah.
That was great, especially the ending between Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. You could just feel it's well acted. It was well acted.
Yeah. Great match.
Enough to move people to tears in the audience.
And they show you the whole match.
Awesome.
They're also releasing on YouTube full WrestleMania segments. So
About time.
So they have WrestleMania. I saw they had WrestleMania 3 up there, the whole thing. WrestleMania 6 was there, the whole thing.
Oh.
And then one of the newer ones. Funny thing, WrestleMania 7, when I was watching the match on YouTube this week, guess who I noticed in the front seat?
Macaulay Culkin?
No, he was there, but he wasn't in the front seat.
Who?
Donald Trump was actually there.
Oh, yeah, he was actually.
Yeah, he was in WrestleMania 7.
He was actually.
Usually he's at the Trump Plaza one.
Yeah, like 4 and 5.
Yeah, but he was actually in the front row in this one too. So I was like, oh, there goes Donald Trump.
Yeah, before he went crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about him.
Yeah. So I noticed him in that match. He was clapping the end when Elizabeth hugged Savage. So.
And he put her on her shoulder too. I love when he used to do that. Yeah, I still almost get tears in my eyes when he won the first WWF belt.
Yeah. When
he was celebrating the ring, and then he just gives the belt to Elizabeth and puts her on his shoulder. And I was like, that's one of the moments I remember from my childhood. The first time I saw that, it's like, yo, awesome.
Yeah. Underrated feud is Hart Foundation and British Bulldogs. They had some really, really, really good matches.
And funny thing is, of course, a lot of people know this. Like British, there's a lot of relations between them. Like the British Bulldogs, they're actually first cousins in real life.
Yeah.
And Jim Neidhart, Davey Boy Smith, they're brother-in-laws to Bret Hart since they married into the Hart family.
I think the Dynamite kind of, well, I know he was trained in England, but him and Stu have some kind of relation. I don't know.
He may have trained in Stu Hart's dungeon.
Partially, yeah.
Like most Canadian wrestlers, they train in Stu Hart's dungeon.
Yeah. So they had a really good rivalry. The Islanders and the Bulldogs had a really good rivalry.
Yeah, they did.
Really good matches. That was a team that WWF didn't know how to use either because they were very, very talented. Haku and Tama, very, very talented team. They didn't really use them well or to their potential because they were very good technical and agile wrestlers.
And similar to that in later years during the Attitude Era, what's it called? The rivalry between the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian. I'm not counting the TLC matches.
I heard those were good.
Those were, and it culminated in the first ever tag team ladder match. Which was at the October event of 1999. I forget what it was.
I think that should make the top 10. That match.
Was
it a WrestleMania match?
No, it was just a regular in your house match.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
one of those tag teams. I don't know. One of those long hair, high flying tag team matches made the top 10.
Yeah, it was probably that one. That one was the first of its kind. Okay. A tag team ladder match.
Okay.
Yeah, and the what they had to get at the top was a $10,000 cash. It was the Terry Invitational Tournament. Yeah.
One of
the Hardys won that match, and that was the best match that evening.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I think I'd stopped watching. So.
You had at that point. It was a match. It was an event where Stone Cold Steve Austin, where somebody ran over him, and he was out for several months.
I see.
And it turned out to be Rikishi several months later.
See.
I did it for The Rock.
Yeah. So they ended up having they were in the top 10.
And they ended up having like those triple matches between the Dudley Boys too, which evolved from ladders, then tables, chairs. That's the point where I couldn't watch. It's like this is not wrestling; these are stuntmen.
Yeah. So I think those are the ones that really stood out for me. I'm trying to think. Rude and Jake the Snake had a good one too.
They did, in WWF.
Yeah.
Because when they were in WCW, they were allies.
Yeah.
Rick Rude's feud with against Ricky Steamboat, that was fun to watch.
That was a good one too, WCW.
Yeah, Steamboat could really sell getting beat by Rude.
Rude, yeah. Luger had a feud with the Sting.
I think so too. In WCW, yeah.
Who else do I remember from there?
I think who else?
Mr. Hughes versus Vinny Vegas. Vinny Vegas was...
That was Taker's character at one point. Or was it Kevin Nash?
Kevin Nash. Vinny Vegas was Kevin Nash. I think they had a feud at one point. Yeah. Any ones that were your favorites before we move on?
Some of them my favorites. I mentioned Shawn and Razor. That was a fun feud.
That was a good one. I like that one. Very good one.
DX against the Nation. The faction feuds. Yeah. That was good through the summer of '98.
Yeah. DX against anyone was dope.
Oh, yeah. At the time, yes.
Yeah.
Because DX, they ran out of steam in '99.
Yeah.
When they tried to revamp the concept, I was excited, but it was like, it's like a ride in Disney World when it breaks down.
Yeah.
When it breaks down, then they restart it, it's not the same as it was before.
Nice.
Yeah, Stone Cold against The Rock.
Stone Cold had a feud when he was stunning Steve Austin. He had a feud
against Jake the
Snake. Flying Brian Pillman, I think.
I think so. In WCW.
WCW, yeah. At that time, I think he was a television champion. Maybe. Yeah, either the television champion or the U.S. It was him or Beautiful Bobby Eaton, one of them. But I think it was Stunning Steve Austin at the time. Him and Flying Brian Pillman, the Goldilocks feud. So
rest in peace, Pillman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should move on to our last one now.
Let's do it.
All right. Our last topic of the discussion is the Hulu series Paradise. This is a political thriller TV series created by Dan Fogelman, who also created the NBC hit series This Is Us. It was released on January 26th of this year, and the series received generally positive reviews from critics and viewers, and was renewed for a second season a month later. The plot? The series is set in a city-sized underground bunker in Colorado 3 years after a Doomsday event, and follows a U.S. Secret Service agent named Xavier Collins, played by Sterling K. Brown. He works to uncover the murder of President Cal Bradford, played by the X-Men's Cyclops, James Marsden. And he uncovers a large conspiracy that concerns the whole world and this underground community that was built. It was set in 8 episodes, and the series makes use of flashbacks and music, as Fogelman did with This Is Us. And there's one pertinent song per episode, and it helps to drive the plot home. The series also explores themes of deception, wealth disparity, and the illusion of utopia. Yeah, other stars in the series include Julianne Nicholson, who plays Samantha Redmond, codenamed Sinatra. Sarah Shahi, who's Dr. Gabriella Torabi. John Beavers as Billy Page.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. He likes Beavers, so help him. Nicole Bryden Bloom as Jane Driscoll, and Chris Marshall as Agent Nicole Robinson. Okay.
John Beavers.
Beavers, plural. I don't think that's even his real name, and if it is, he probably got made fun of a lot in school. It's like the athlete, Noah Nigga.
Yeah. Why? I don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
He put me onto this. Thank you for that.
For sure, bro. For sure. I knew you would appreciate it.
Yeah, it was very good. It kept me engaged. The first episode when they revealed that they're in an underground artificial community,
more or less, yeah.
And the sun is just a great big lamp.
Exactly. Where they can also makeshift create weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as the more it went on, the more that we learned how this paradise was created, and that's the name of the unofficial name of the community, Paradise.
Yeah.
How its inception, what it cost them.
Yeah.
And the whole wealth disparity thing, it's like you build this underground community for every billionaire in the world and 25,000 handpicked Americans.
It's giving me SpaceX vibes.
Yeah.
Your boy, Elon. I could see him doing something like this.
So could I. And the U.S. government knew that some doomsday event was going to come, and they started getting ready for it by having on the billionaire's dime.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays the president in this series, James Marsden, it's worth noting that he was Cyclops in the first 3 X-Men films.
Oh, I thought he was he the different guy from Smallville or no? Was he a Superman of sorts?
No, he wasn't that. Although I think he was in Smallville though.
It was in Smallville? Yeah, it could be. Okay.
He plays the president, and he seems like somebody who might be our age, given his penchant for burning CDs and whatnot.
I know, yeah.
And penchant for 80s and 90s films.
Yeah.
He mentions Rocky 3 a
Facts,
lot.
Yeah, facts. Clubber Lang,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy I could probably get along with if I ever met him. The character.
You're probably right. When you think about it, he more or less could be our peer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
And his son looks at him like he's such a Bama though.
Yeah.
Like then again, a lot of kids look at their parents a certain way when they think they're trying to look cool.
Yeah.
Especially when you're teenagers and you're sullen and have a meh mode about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this series though, and Dan Fogelman, he relies a lot on flashbacks. That's how he told the story during This Is Us. And Sterling K. Brown was one of the main characters in This Is Us as well too. Yeah. And he also won an Emmy for that.
Yeah.
Sterling K. Brown, he's very versatile. And Jobu from Black Panther. And he was in The Predator, too.
He was?
Yeah, he was in The Predator, too. He was the scientist. He's like, oh, really, kid? Well, if your daddy's going to do that, then he's about the dumbest motherfucker in the world.
Oh, I see.
And it's funny hearing him curse in roles like this and in Predator, considering he's well known for This Is Us.
Yeah.
Where his character, Randall, seems like the cornball dad, black nerd.
Yeah.
The president, though, Cal Bradford, he's clearly a puppet president. But he's a charmer.
Basically.
With a penchant for 80s movies and burning CDs. But he's a disappointment to his wealthy father, who pushed him into the oil industry and later politics, despite him wanting to be a high school teacher. Yeah,
you're right. His dad definitely pressured him into being a role like they say a lot about these wealthy families. They kind of
want their wealth to continue and the roles to continue vicariously.
Exactly. So they kind of pigeonhole their kids into this position, whether they like it or not. More or less.
And Cal
causes resentment a lot of times,
and plus, unlike his father, though, Cal knows the name of everybody he works with, even the janitors in the White House. Yeah. I'm like, that says a lot right there. He's a people's person. He's a charmer. But what they say when he asked the girl that he's the black chick that he's in love with, Nicole Robinson. He's like, did you vote for me? No, you came off as a dumb, spoiled son of a billionaire. But you were charming.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that scene.
But the more he learns about Paradise and during the 3-year period before his murder, down there, he learns he doesn't have access to certain things. He's like, what? I'm the fucking president. How do I not?
He starts to notice it,
And he realizes
his dad had access to it.
His dad was one of the brokers, one for Paradise. Yep. One of the people that helped build it.
Investors, yeah.
That's why his symbol that he has in that little bookmark that he uses, it's the same symbol of the construction workers in Paradise that we see in season 8.
Season 8, yeah. Or episode 8.
Episode 8, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's true. And when he starts to unravel how, the conspiracy behind it all, he tries to document and leave traces for primarily his son, right?
Breadcrumbs for his son and Xavier.
Yeah.
Because it's revealed when it's revealed how he's killed, you see him use some of his blood to put an X on the pack of cigarettes for Xavier to find.
Yes, that's true.
And the 6-digit number that he wrote on the cigarette.
Yeah,
that turned out to be like a library code number for a book. For what's it called? Sinatra and the the Lawford guy who married into the Kennedy family.
Yeah. Librarian so happened to be one of the workers that built.
He was a project manager that built Paradise.
Under unfavorable work conditions.
Yeah, when he brought that up, they pretty much said they'll look into it. And then when he came to work the next day, he found out he was fired. And one of the workers he was close with, an African dude named Adam.
Yeah, I remember.
People say there's a homosexual romantic context there. No, I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't
see that either. He was friendly.
Very friendly.
He had a bond with all of his coworkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can imagine how distraught he was when he learned that the people didn't care if they died working in the mines to create what they wanted.
The crazy part is they weren't even handpicked to.
They weren't even handpicked to live there.
Yeah,
nah.
After their labor, it's kind of wild.
The thing is, they're buried in that dirt that became the community.
Yeah.
So they're there. They're there in a sense still. Yeah. The one episode I liked the most was episode 7, where they showed the Doomsday event. What happened? Because before that, we only see glimmers, like the Washington Monument, like underwater.
All the way, yeah.
It's like holy shit.
It was staged.
Yeah.
A lot of it was staged.
Of course.
And they tried to cover it up when word that people were still alive on the surface.
The expeditioners, the four explorers that went out on the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sinatra, Samantha Redmond, the person she's actually the brain behind Paradise. Yeah. It was her idea. She told Billy Pace, one of the Secret Service agents, get up there and kill them.
Yeah.
And there's a record of him killing them, though. That's what was on the president's Palm Pilot that he had no access to.
Yes.
But when he used his father's handprint and saw everything, he wrote down by hand a transcript of everything he heard and saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were survivors out there, and the air is breathable, despite it being a mix of an electromagnetic pulse, a tsunami, and nuclear winter.
Yeah. And Billy's girlfriend or whatever.
Oh, his girlfriend.
The video game addict.
She always wanted a Wii. What was her name? Jane?
Jane.
He told Sinatra, if you're going to kill me, you better send the baddest motherfucker at me.
And it was her.
It was her. Yeah, she poisoned his beer and then gloated right over him. She's a psychopath.
Yeah, she is.
Even she shot Sinatra at the end.
Yeah.
Left her alive but incapacitated. Yeah. So she's gonna be bedridden through all of season 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then
all because of the Wii.
All because of the Wii. Like Sinatra, if you just gave it to her just to humor her, you probably wouldn't be shot right now.
Yep.
But Sinatra, she was against Jane hurting Xavier's daughter. Yeah, because of how her own son had died. Yeah. She's basically the whole trope of even evil has standards.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's a good thing. That's a good way to put it.
I do a lot of bad shit, but I'm not going to hurt a kid.
Yeah, I'm not going to hit exactly. So Xavier and his loyal Secret Service people try to kind of create a siege.
Yeah, they find a weapons cache when Cal was having his affair with Nicole, he let it slip that there are weapons
down here. Yep.
And he told her where during his last meeting with her. And Xavier was able to get access to it, and they cleaned that whole place out.
Yeah.
And Xavier got some Secret Service agents, convinced them that are loyal to him. And ironically, they didn't choose Jane because they thought she'd be too soft for this.
Yeah, ironically.
Little do y'all know.
Yeah,
little do y'all know.
Yeah,
she's the craziest motherfucker of all, y'all. Oh man.
And his wife so happens to be on the surface.
Yeah, she's out there. Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
We'll probably find that out more about that in season 2.
Yeah, because we were convinced that that she got killed in Atlanta when the nuclear missiles were being sent around the world between China and Russia. Yeah, because when Xavier was talking to her on the phone and it suddenly went out. Yeah. That's what convinced him that
she was dead.
Yeah. What else? Xavier's children, Presley and James, a boy and girl.
Yeah.
They were named after James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the president has a son too named Jeremy.
Yeah, who has a kind of a romantic puppy love teenage relationship with
Presley. Yeah, he seems like a sullen, bratty teenager at first.
Yeah.
But when he learns more about Paradise, he becomes more of a leadership figure.
Yeah.
Who's hell bent on exposing Paradise for what it really is.
Right.
Like, don't remind these people that they live underground.
Exactly.
No. Well, they know that, but they got to know whose blood went into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like I said, in the day of the Doomsday episode, when Xavier makes false promises to some of his coworkers, especially a girl who has a sick son.
Yeah. I remember that.
They find out they're being left behind. That reminded me of the scene in The Boys season 1, the airplane scene, which I won't spoil for you. But you if you ever see that,
synonymous, huh?
It is synonymous. Like, holy shit, you can only save a finite amount of people.
Yeah. And that was the case in that episode, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, especially when they leave the White House, and the janitor in the White House, he just goes on about his day like, I've seen everything. This ain't nothing. I'm going to my granddaughter's party tomorrow, and I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And that's what made the president get back on TV and just act truthful.
Yeah, he was like, no, they got to know the truth.
Yeah. He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be a puppet president no more, like any politician. But that's what he became.
Basically, what he was. Yeah, you're right, son. Yeah.
Because the real rulers of paradise are the billionaires.
Yep.
And you see them squabbling at the end of the series, and now the bumbling vice president. I forget his name.
Do you think
the balding guy, Bailey? I think that's his name.
Do you think this was a metaphor of our current state or the way things work here?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
As far as who controls what?
Well, wealth disparity. Yeah, it's a commentary on that. But what's it called? I think this show illustrates what will happen if it's taken to a drastically far conclusion like that. Like only 25,000 people can live in this paradise. What's your criteria for who can live there? Yeah. Because obviously you had some slip-ups at the gate with Trent and the girl posing as Emily, his wife.
Mm-hmm. Do you think something extreme like this could happen? I don't think it will happen, but I could see someone trying to, like a SpaceX type of thing where only select few billionaires could, for instance, I think they were trying to build something on the moon or something, on Mars, and then a select few billionaires that can afford.
That reminds me too. That reminds me too of what this series also reminds me of.
Isn't that movie?
Elysium with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Where like what's it called? The only like everybody on Earth is poor and the air is polluted. And the elite and wealthy, they live in a space station called Elysium, where they got a bunch of lavish shit, and they got technology that keeps them free from illness or sickness.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a wealth disparity issue, and The Village as well too. The Village, with the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Only here they know that they're underground.
Underground, yeah.
They're not being fooled by anybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
And The Truman Show in a sense too.
I haven't seen that. That's a Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Where he basically grew up in a gigantic studio and didn't know it.
So like a lot of people believe that the president is always a puppet and there's like an elite few people that, you know,
that know the score and control.
Tend to fund a lot of the party's campaigns, and
I mean,
look at
Bush. Bush, I think he was a puppet president.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Cheney really ran that office though.
Yeah, which is why there's a lot of disdain from Bush towards Cheney now. They don't get along currently.
Well, then again, Dick Cheney can't shoot.
Wow.
No, I mean really, he can't shoot.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, but just you know, just being devil's advocate and like conspiracist. You think that's possible?
It's possible, but how likely, I don't know. I mean, films have convinced me that the government does a lot of shady shit they do it in exaggerated formats. For example, remember the ending of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they're like, Dr. Jones, the Ark is being examined by top men. In reality, they're sealing it up in a box in a government warehouse and putting top secret, do not open this ever. And they put it in with a bunch of other boxes that say the same thing. Yeah. Like, what the hell else do you have in there? The cure for cancer?
Yeah.
Who really killed Kennedy?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, the government, they do have its secrets. And I believe they have something like that.
I agree.
But as far as an underground community, it's possible. How likely remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But the whole illusion of utopia, the lens that people will go to maintain it. Like Sinatra ordering Billy Pace to kill the explorers out there that discovered that they're still life.
Yeah.
What are you scared that they're going to find out about paradise and try to overrun it? Because you got only resources for only the people down there. That's true.
I think it ruins the concept that they've created, the world, the mental world that they've created, that this is the we are the survivors of a catastrophe that has happened up top. And if there are people still alive, then that whole
illusion gets shattered.
And people will now want to escape this bubble that they're in to
try to see what's out there at least.
Yes. So that's why they try to maintain that status quo. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think a lot of that runs true in just a lot of societal norms in general.
And I think another reason why the billionaires tend to be the governing body in paradise is because during the flashback scene of the Doomsday event, the plane that carried Congress, the Supreme Court, and the Joint Chiefs, that plane went down. That's awfully convenient.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because now the billionaires, they were able to effectively stage a coup in paradise after the extinction event, and that gave them more influence over President Bradford.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And how this whole thing gets started, too, they said it came quicker than they expected. A massive underground volcano in the Arctic erupted, and that set off a 600-foot-high tsunami.
Yeah.
That gained strength as it goes. That reporter that got wiped out.
Yeah.
It was hearing all them sonic booms at first.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I'm fine. Anyway, what? What are you guys staring at it for?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah. But it was all nuclear orchestrated.
Not that. The nuclears, that happened when China and Russia started firing nukes at each other. Yeah. And Cal, he set off an electromagnetic pulse that wiped out all electronics throughout the world, including most of the nukes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the nukes still hit their targets, though. That's why it's a nuclear winter outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no electronics, a massive tsunami, and nuclear winter. And the billionaires, oh my goodness. They had their secret weapon stash hidden in a sub-basement below Town Hall.
Yeah.
And it's implied that those weapons were confiscated from the cops, soldiers, and federal agents when they first entered the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
And they got them Apple wristbands, too, to identify themselves and pay for everything in the paradise.
And be able to trace people's
movement.
People's movement.
Xavier, Sterling K. Brown's character, he eventually cuts his off when he starts to rebel against the paradise. And they have a lot of movie references in there, too. Like episode 6, Die Hard. That's referenced hard.
Yeah, that's in there, yeah.
Like, ho, 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 motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a machine gun.
Yep.
Because when the flashback scenes where he first meets President Bradford, and he's like, "You ever seen Die Hard, bro?" Oh, we'll make that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'm like, makes me wonder, Xavier, how old are you?
I know.
And the scene where he's with his father, who's played by Glenn Turman, who was in Cooley High, and the science teacher in the first Gremlins film. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they start talking, they have a fractured relationship because his father was a pilot. And he was developing Parkinson's, and Xavier got the airline to give him medical release. Yeah,
against his will.
Against his will, yeah, but he was right to do that
because he endangered his passengers.
He would, he would have, yeah.
I remember that.
Man, what else is? Oh, songs they use. Songs per episode. They use like a different, creepier version of an old pop song. Mm-hmm. Like Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins.
That was a popular one.
That was used at the end of the first episode, and it really drove the point home of the episode. We Built This City by Starship. Yeah,
that's another one that was in there.
I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany.
Yeah.
Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison.
Yep.
Eye of the Tiger by Survivor.
Yeah.
They Can't Take That Away From Me by Frank Sinatra. And they even use what's it called in the scene where they finally show how the paradise gets built with the project manager and the staff. They have As Long As I Can See the Light by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Mm-hmm. Those songs are very on the nose per episode. Yep. But the Phil Collins joint, they can play that in every episode.
Yeah, classic.
And some of my favorite characters in here, Billy Pace, I liked him. Because not only is he a badass dude who can fight and shoot,
it's just,
but because he's loyal to Xavier and he's really like an uncle to those kids.
Yeah, it's sad that he
died the way he did.
He had to go that early.
Tarabi, Sarah Shahi, I love Sarah Shahi. She is so fine. But
the doctor.
The doctor, yeah, she's a master manipulator too.
The one he smashed.
He was only smashing her because so they wouldn't they wouldn't hear or see them, but they did. They got cameras everywhere.
Cameras everywhere. Yeah.
We're speaking of which, that reminds me. This is not a utopia. It's a 1984 Orwellian shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's actually a good comparison.
If you're surveilling everybody, that's not a utopia. I don't want you don't need to see everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of harks back to my comparison of the series to the Truman Show as well, because they filmed Truman's every movement during the period in which he grew up in that studio.
Okay.
Without knowing it. You never saw Truman Show?
No.
Oh, that's one of Jim Carrey's best performances.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of themes in there that'll have you thinking.
I'll check it out.
All right.
I've heard good things. I just haven't gotten around to it.
And Trent, the guy that was the project manager, we had seen his character earlier more times than we knew up until the end of the series.
Was he the one the foreigner Australian dude?
No.
Who's playing this Trent?
Trent was a project manager in Paradise who ran the things before he got fired.
The one that became the librarian.
Yeah, but before that, he tried to kill the president, posing as a member of the press. And he ended up shooting Xavier instead. Yeah, and he was sent to prison where? In Colorado, right next to where they're building Paradise.
Exactly.
So when the Doomsday event happened, prison riot happened, enabled him to escape. And he disguised himself.
His identity,
very quick.
He killed people that were.
He killed two couples who were selected to go to Paradise, and disguised himself as one of them.
Yeah, and then picked like some
random girl who was eating herself to death and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't happen often that somebody's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I'm like, good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That's how y'all got in.
Yep.
Yeah, Jane, she's a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's willing to kill anyone. And it's funny how all the other agents think that she's green, but it's all an act, and she's got them all fooled, except for Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike the other characters, we don't know shit about her. Only that she's a stone cold killer who knows how to put on an act.
Yeah.
I mean, props to Nicole Bryden Bloom. She usually plays good girls.
She does. She has that look. Yeah.
This one, she went against type in a really good way.
Played that sociopath well.
Yeah, she did. And when Trent, when he finally reveals himself to Xavier and gives an expose on why he did what he did, and he's the one that killed the president.
Yeah.
And he did it being his library, the displays in his library pays homage to his friends that died building it, the construction workers.
Yeah.
And he used one of the tools used to build it to kill the president.
That's true.
Like he was he was just content playing the role of the librarian until the president came down there on his last day.
Yeah.
And that sparked something in Trent.
Yeah.
I got to finish what I came to start.
Yeah.
But when he finally gets cornered by Xavier and Nicole on top of the very structure of the Paradise, he just remarks, "It's no different down here than it was out there. This place was built for the rich.
Yep.
Paradise. What a fucking joke."
He killed himself.
He just drops down literally and creates a hole in the Paradise.
Yeah.
Leaving a literal hole in Paradise's roof.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what's crazy?
What's up?
Like, generationally, like, it's like over time, the kids of the people that originally moved to Paradise won't even know that it's a bubble. They'll think it's real.
Yeah.
Unless they tell them the truth of how it's built.
How it's built, yeah.
They wouldn't even know. It's crazy.
It is. That's why I say it has parallels to the Village as well too.
Yeah.
The people in the Village, they didn't know that
thing.
They didn't know that it's in the present day. They think they're in the 1800s.
Exactly. Same thing. Yeah.
And Truman Burbank, he thought he was living his real life the whole time. He's on a TV show and doesn't know it. They didn't even they made it so that he would have phobia of water and fear flying in order to keep him confined there.
In that area. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, good film. Yeah, the wealthy in this film, it's like they that's the one thing I didn't like at all. And you're right, there is a comparison. There is a comparison now, especially given how the election went, how the wealthy are lining their pockets with government money. Yeah, that's a parallel you can draw between that and this.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, for season 2 though, they're gonna explore what's on the outside.
I'm looking forward to that.
I am looking forward to that too.
They did it so well that they renewed for the second season, right?
I mean, Dan Fogelman, the creator, he's a very good storyteller. I mean, you never watched an episode of This Is Us?
I know so much of it, but I've actually never sat down to watch it. But like literally with everybody venting all over the place, I already have an idea what the show's about. So
yeah, it's a very well written, emotional show, and like a lot of the parallels you'll see in the show is like that's all
you can relate.
people.
Yeah, you can relate.
And plus, like these people are close to our age, so I get a lot of the things that they're doing and saying. Yeah, and it's very emotional. You will cry some episodes. You will.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
I did.
You're not the only one. I've heard quite a few people that watch.
Quite a few people that watch, including some of our closest people too. Yeah. And one of our friends, he takes a show very close to heart because one of the driving forces of the plot is a parallel in his life. Yeah. But yeah, Paradise, very good series, very well written.
Yeah.
Raises a lot of good questions too.
Absolutely.
Like, is this what would happen in a Doomsday event?
Yeah.
Only the quote unquote important people get saved.
Important as in with people with capital.
Yes, capital, billionaires, and a select few of the United States federal government. Man. And it's funny, Sinatra's character, she's like, does a transformation. We see her flashbacks when she had longer hair and was a lot more happier. And then by the time Paradise rolls around, she's a stern, short, redhead person.
Nurse Ratched almost like.
Almost, very misanthropic.
Yeah.
And she tells the president flat out, no, you won't. You don't have the balls to do that.
Yeah, basically.
Like, he's like, bitch, what the fuck you say to me?
Yeah, you heard me, basically.
She's ballsy.
Yeah. Nah, I definitely recommend it. It's new. It's pretty new. It came out like last month or the month before. So check that out. It's definitely one I recommend for sure.
And another thing I like was what's called the foreshadowing. When Dr. Tarabi, she was brought into Paradise to create and manage its social order. And she even admits during her day with Xavier that she sees some people in Paradise who shouldn't be here, but writes it off as panic of the first day. I'm like, you're right. Some people shouldn't be there. Trent and that waitress you always eat cheese fries with.
Yeah.
And they have, and on the food they have there, plant-based and artificial, like that plant-based steak.
Yeah.
And nut-based cheese.
What?
Yeah. Nut-based cheese. I
don't want to know.
It's possible that may happen. There's plant-based cheese. Hey, whatever floats your boat. There's no hunting and gathering down there, as there are no animals.
I was just about to say, like, they didn't gather any animals, so I guess
the people that do have dogs, they tend to hide them.
Yeah. I wonder how that's successful. Because you need animals to help successfully maintain like the organic aspects of plants.
It's the ecology.
Yeah, exactly.
They had no flies buzzing around anywhere.
No flies, no bees, no earthworms.
Because at least in Black Mirror, they had artificial bees in that few features.
One of the episodes, yeah. They're so important. Like,
yeah. Other than that, I think, very well written TV series. A lot of Dan Fogelman's trademarks are in here. Music, flashbacks. Sterling K. Brown being his Bobby De Niro.
Yeah,
they have chemistry already from working on This Is Us for 6 seasons. So there's a familiarity that makes it very relaxed for Sterling K. Brown to work with him. But I'm looking forward to the second season.
Me too.
And seeing what kind of questions that raises.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that wraps up episode number 5 of season 3, Paradise, Wrestling Rivalries, and The Departed. Tune in for our next episode, maybe later in the month or early May.
For sure.
Yeah, so comment. We're here. So comment what you think of this episode. Comment on our links that we leave on our IG pages.
Yeah.
Comment on the video that we're going to leave on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just go to town. Even if you think it sucks, tell us that.
Yeah, at the very least. Yeah, for sure.
Other than that, we thank you for viewing. It's for viewers like you, like they say on PBS, why we do this.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We're signing off, folks.
Later, man.
Peace.